as long as this guy is alive and breathing, my former party will never turn on him.
Joe Walsh, the former U.S. Congressman, he used to represent the 8th District of Illinois as a Republican congressman. He has a podcast, The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. It's also his Substack newsletter, which is well worth subscribing to. It's free. Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Real easy to find. Walsh Freedom over on Blue Sky and on Twitter. Joe, welcome back to the program.
Tom, it's always good to be with you, my friend.
Well, thank you. Back at you. So you talk about, you wrote a piece recently. Let's talk about Democratic politics for a second for your Substack newsletter. And you noted that 8 months ago you became a Democrat, but you're still, pretty conservative on a bunch of positions. And I get that. And I think it's great that the Democratic Party is capable of expanding its tent, as it were. And maybe we'll have a little time to talk about some issues. But mostly, I'm curious, how much is the Republican Party going to take before Trump breaks it? I mean, this morning, this deranged DM, or text message that he sent to the Prime Minister of Norway saying that because you didn't give me a Nobel Peace Prize, and of course the government of Norway has nothing to do with it, it's a private, nonprofit, foundation, because you didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize, I no longer feel obligated to peace, and therefore we're going to threaten 8 countries with terror. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you would expect to come from somebody who actually is experiencing early stage dementia or Alzheimer's, and and you got Lev Parnas out there saying that the bruises on the back of his hand are because every month he's taking an infusion of this new Alzheimer's drug that is administered through through the vein in the back of your hand. Why is he taking these cognitive tests? Why is he getting MRIs? All of that stuff goes along with taking those particular drugs. At what point does the Republican Party say enough?
Never. Tom, never. There is no point. There is no line in the sand. There is no red line. And I'm not harping on you. I get so tired of commentators, not you, Tom, commentators who continue to say, oh my God, when is the Republican Party going to stand up? My former colleague, or some of my former Republican colleagues in Congress, Don Bacon, good guy, Nebraska, reasonable Republican. He came out last week and said, if Trump invades Greenland, that will make Republicans real mad, and he'll be impeached. Bull! Bull!
Yeah.
No. Republicans, as long as this guy is alive and breathing, my former party will never turn on him. And so all of us who want to stop him, because everything you say about him's right, he's a dangerous madman right now, a threat to the country and the world. The help's not going to come from my former party, ever.
Wow. Now, I realize that in 1976, the U.S. Supreme Court in the Buckley decision said that Jim Buckley, William F. Buckley's brother, a very wealthy family, could violate campaign law restrictions and fund his own campaign, that because money is the same thing as speech and free speech and all that kind of stuff. And then 2 years later in Bellotti, they said corporations are persons and they have free speech rights, and basically legalized bribery. And then in 2010, Clarence Thomas, who himself was taking bribes from billionaires, said, oh yeah, you can bribe any judge, any politician. And it seems to me that many of the Republican positions, they want to keep in place a broken healthcare system. Why? Because it's generating $1 trillion in profits a year for an industry that kicks back hundreds of millions of dollars of those profits, mostly to Republican politicians. They want to diminish banking regulations. Why? Because the banks kick back enormous, campaign contributions or bribes or whatever you want to call them. I could pick a half a dozen different policy positions that Republicans are holding to. They want to keep in place, for example, the student loans can't be discharged and through bankruptcy, because they want to protect the banks that are big donors. I get it that there's, that basically the party is enthralled to big donors and big corporations, and as is about a third to a half of the Democratic Party. But do you think it's possible that at some point those donors are going to say, this guy, what he's doing is not good for our business, it's not good for the American economy, you guys have to do something?
Yeah, Tom, that's an interesting thought. And that's an interesting angle that I have not often thought of. My answer would still be no, only in that my former party ceased to be driven by any ideology or any issues-based philosophy from the moment they tied on to Trump. So they are tied to him. And they keep their mouths shut because they want to get reelected. And it would be a lot easier to go against a wealthy donor than to go against Trump, because if you go against Trump, you're going to be primaried and you're gone. And all the people in my former world of right-wing talk, same thing. If they speak out against Trump, there goes their audience. This is still the primary mover of what energizes that side of America, my former party. And I don't see that changing, even though, like in paper, he's a lame duck, and he'll be a lame duck in another year, but he'll never be a traditional lame duck. And we need to stop that talk, because he's going to be the kingmaker in 28, no matter what happens in 26. And every Republican knows that.
Assuming he's still around. I mean, the guy is obese, and he's got what looks like heart failure, given his ankles and everything else. But so, if you're a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, and file it with the county. And just like that, bang, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they then take out loans against your equity and even sell your property. And you won't even know about it until you get a foreclosure notice or a collection notice in the mail. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Go to HometitleLock.com/Tom, T-H-O-M, and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out why I trust Home Title Lock. Protect yourself like I did. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Go to HometitleLock.com/Tom. That's HometitleLock.com/THOM. So on this program last week, we had Congressman Mark Pocan on, who is a Democrat from Wisconsin. And, he's been around for quite some time. And he said that he knows of several Republican members of Congress who would be willing to stand up to Trump right now. The problem is that they are afraid of primary challenges. And that once the primary season is over, which will be, the tail end of June, July of this year, later this summer, that we can probably expect to start seeing some Republicans, once they've secured their primary and, know that they're only going to be running against a Democrat, they're not going to be, Trump can't come in and blow them up anymore, who are going to start standing up to him. Do you think that's a viable evaluation?
No.
Okay.
Tom, I'm just a real downer today, aren't I?
Well,
no.
I like reality, Joe.
Well, unless these House Republicans, if they survive the primary period this time around, unless they make up their mind that they're no longer going to run again. And by the way, Tom, a lot of Republicans are heading for the hills and just retiring and not running again. They see the writing on the wall. They're going to lose the House. But unless you're a Republican and you no longer want to run in the future, you're going to tie yourself to him. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to risk the wrath of Trump coming after you in 2 years. And this is the other important point. It's now Trumpism. Like MAGA is the party. Right. The base of the party is now full-on MAGA, full-on white Christian nationalist. This is the base of the party. Trump's just a vehicle for them, but this is the most powerful animating force in the party, and they've got to listen to their base.
Yeah, well, I would argue that it probably has been the most powerful animating force in the party ever since 1954, when the Brown versus Board of Education ruling came down, and Fred Koch started pouring money into the John Birch Society for the Impeach Earl Warren billboards that went up all across America in the 50s, which I'm old enough to remember. But
I'd only argue with you in that it's always been an animating force. I would argue it's never been the most powerful animating force. It is clearly now, I believe.
Good, race. So, Joe, I have about 2 minutes here before we hit a hard break. I can't stop. What's your advice to the Democratic Party to deal with this?
Abolish ICE. Don't be afraid to say abolish ICE. Abolish ICE is not like defund the police. These thugs are not law enforcement. Look, Tom, I'm a conservative Democrat, but I'm a populist. I want the Democratic Party to be a populist party and to fight. And I can see the machinations now, Tom. They're still afraid now to how to handle what ICE is doing on our streets. If I'm a member of Congress, if I were back in Congress right now, no way on God's green earth do I vote to spend a dime of government money until ICE is gone. If I'm a Democratic governor and ICE is in my state, I've got the National Guard on my streets protecting my residents. Democrats need to understand that. Everything you and I understand, this thing is unprecedented. We have a fascist in the White House, and his fascist militia is out there right now going after Americans. Get out there and fight back, Democrats.
Yeah, and not physically, but literally.
Yes.
You know, but in a whole bunch of practical ways, like using the law. To what extent do you think the Republican Party? I keep reading the Republican Party is shrinking as a result of Trumpism. Are they in trouble?
Well, yes and no. Yes, meaning that the base is getting older. The Republican Party base is a white, older base. But remember that what Trumpism is, what MAGA is, has gained appeal among young men. And Tom, I would argue, remember, every 4 years, every election's a choice. And as long as the Democrats don't present something better than what MAGA is, Republicans will win again.
Yeah.
A lot of voters voted in 24, Tom, knowing they were voting for a horrible guy because they believed the other party was out of touch.
Yeah,
so
or they believe Trump's promises. Joe,
yes.
I'd love to talk to you. Maybe we can schedule this for next week to come on and let's talk about some issues, okay?
Thanks, Tom.
I'd love it. Joe Walsh, Social Contract with JoeWalsh.substack.com. Check it out. Joe, thanks again.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, good talking to you.